This is an installation of a commercial large panel. So these are how to manage large panels on commercial installations. I also want to show you the type of tools that we use, some of the bags and some of the goodies, and I'm going to show you how to do a reverse roll so that when you're working by yourself, you can manage those bigger panels. All right, what's up guys? We're here at Paula Casino. When they were doing the concrete, I guess something chipped the glass, and we already tinted this whole casino, this entire level. So they wanted us to just reapply film to this one. So brand new paint, it is 69 by 97. And I'm gonna show you how to cut it just directly out of the box. What I do is I take a tape measure, I slice it up right here. I already sliced it. And I grab my tape measure and I'm gonna come out 96, so I'm gonna come out 47.5. I'm gonna actually just go out to 48.
I'm going on a piece of film.
Boom. And let it settle just like that. And then I'm gonna take it. And I like to start at a corner. That way, I can go ahead and shift my film, and I'm not gonna create any creases. That's it. Come all the way up. Get it nice and tight. Push this guy. That way it's nice and even. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this piece of tape, I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna pull the same thing. Now I'm just gonna hold it all in one. So what are we at right here? Boom. We're a little over, that's perfect. You'd rather be over than under. I'm gonna take my tape, pull my tape off. Now here's the thing, a lot of guys try to go super fast in. Just try to hold it nice and even, let it sit down so you don't crease the film itself. All right, prep is everything. If you notice, I've got my blade on the opposite side of the box. Having your blade there is gonna really help out. That way I can just come over, grab my blade and get to going. So, okay, so keep a little bit of pressure, holding the film up, and then I use the box as a guide. So I'm gonna cut it. There you go. Now remember, we went a little over, so it's okay if it's like a little jagged. It doesn't really matter. You have excess, and that excess we're gonna use to our advantage. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm actually prepping it for a reverse roll. Somebody asked in the comments, they're like, okay, please make it very clear on how you reverse roll. So here's how you do it. The liner is on this end, so see that clear liner? Okay, and then you have the pressure sensitive adhesive on this side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten my roll with the liner on the inside. And I'm gonna make sure it's nice and even so that when I drop roll it, or a California roll or a reverse roll, when I drop the film after I've prepped it to do a reverse roll, the liner is gonna go on the back side of the film, okay? The important part about doing these larger panels is a 72-inch. Doing these larger panels, it's really all comes down to prep, and definitely a lot easier when you're doing it by yourself to reverse roll it. All right, so I'm gonna get my tape. On this one, I like to put 2. It's a big piece of tape, so I wanna make sure it's ready. Okay, some pretty cool tools. So here's my belt. This is a tip from another guy. I've kind of used it ever since. So these are called Tough Belt. These things are absolutely fantastic. I think you find them at, I think you find these guys at, find them at Lowe's. All right, so what I like to do, I also bought that thing, the cart for it, or the tote bag. I love that freaking thing. So what's cool is they make these little attachments. So what I'm able to do is just unclip, bam, dude, bong. I freaking love these. Now, I run everything out of my bag just because it's like so much easier. It just makes life so much more comfortable. All right, so we already have these seals trimmed from the last installation. The solution that I'm using is Dawn dish soap and some water out of my tank, and I've got a little, we actually run a Milwaukee air compressor. Those things are money, dude. They're so worth it. We've already tested this glass, so it's not gonna go ahead and scrap. So all I'm doing right now is taking off any debris. And I'm gonna get the seals nice and clean. So one of the things, if you can find this, you could find these Metal Tech little mini scaffolds. They freaking fold up. They're amazing. So if you can grab one of these, they run like 200 bucks. So worth it. When you're doing these large panels, they can get very expensive if you have to replace it. So my recommendation is always use the side to check it. But the most important thing is try to use what's called a Glass Check Elite. That's gonna tell you if there's a coating on the glass. Super important to identify whether there's a low E coating or not. This particular glass, we know it doesn't have it. It's a large tempered unit. It's within 18 inches of the floor, more than 9 total square feet. And when you do that glass check, it'll tell you whether there's a low E coating. But if you don't have one, you don't have the money to get one, go like this, scratch up this little tiny edge. It's not scratching, so we're good to go. So you can actually use your blade. That's just the initial clean. I'm gonna do one more squeegee on this guy. And don't worry about it. Everybody's gonna give me some hell in the comments as far as not putting a tarp down. They're changing the carpet. So I like to start from one edge, bring it all the way across. All right, she's all set. Now what we're gonna do, take our paper towel, in one smooth motion, I want you to go all the way around the edge. Do this twice, and here's why. A lot of debris. Another important thing, get yourself a trash can. Check it out. We got all the sides wiped. Now, I'm gonna wipe my top edge. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on the frame as well, the mullion, and I'm gonna try to get all of it out, just like that. So when I see little stuff like this, I can take my blade, like there's a little bit of contamination right here. Boom, take that off, give it another blade, boom. She's all set. Again, trash can. I didn't make it though. Okay, so some of the things you're gonna need. You're gonna need a blade. So I've got my blade right here. Got my film nice and set. Got my hard card. The metal one that we showed you in the previous video, we'll link the video below. I got my white card. Got my squeegee. And what I'm gonna do, because it's a bigger panel, I'm gonna grab a bigger squeegee. Proper planning and preparation prevents piss poor performance. So we're doing a reverse roll. Take your tape, take that stuff off. Now, because the liner's on the inside, I'm gonna unroll it about 4 inches. Then I'm gonna soak it. Now, what soaking it does, it allows the liner to stick to the back side of the film. So I'm gonna go like this, tighten it up. Okay, now I'm gonna expose the adhesive. Notice how that liner's coming off? Okay. Another little trick is you could take your finger and do that little number. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna expose the adhesive a little more than 5 inches, and I'm gonna tighten this back up. And as you notice, the liner's really sticking to the film itself. Spray down your film so that no, debris from the air gets on it, like little hairs, etc. All right, so again, once you do that whole process, you're gonna see the film right here on the back side. So this is the liner, here's the film, the adhesive is exposed, and I wet this side down so it doesn't build up any debris just from the air. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and spray the area in which I'm gonna install the film. Boom. I don't like spraying the entire panel because I'm gonna go halfway. You notice, I saw something here. So, you're okay. Don't stress. Take it off. It's called fabrication debris. And I'm gonna try to soak it down so that when I go to squeegee down there, that'll come off with it. Boom. All right, now I'm gonna give this one little squirt. So I got the bottom sprayed. I got all of this sprayed. Here's the magic. So what I'm gonna do, the liner's right here, film's right here. Use my middle finger and I'm pinching the film. So So now when I go to drop it, it drops all the way down. Now I'm gonna set it up just a little higher. Notice how that dropped? All I did was let go of the film. It was heavy enough to drag it all the way down. So remember, the liner is on this side. So peel your film back, give yourself a little extra on this top edge. Now I'm gonna take my squeegee. I'm gonna set this edge. I'm not gonna press it at the very top because I don't want that debris flying into my film. So I'm gonna leave that first 2 inches alone. Now, check this out. How many of you guys are gonna be like, dude, it shifted, like it's to the left. Don't fret, my friend, don't fret. See? By giving myself that little bit of extra space, I can now pivot my film, and I didn't tack it all the way down, so I'm in good shape. So now, grab my liner. Pull my liner off. Bam. That gave us a little extra. Now see this little tunnel right here? That's because I shifted it to the left. And I'm gonna pull this up. And watch this. Bam. I set it. I'm gonna go to this side now. Spray it. And set it. Bam. Just like that. All by myself. There you go. So the bottom edges are good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give it my final tack. I'm gonna use a smaller squeegee. All right. So do this little T pattern, that way it doesn't shift left or right. Remember, overlapping strokes. So I'm gonna push in the center, slightly angled down. Always overlapping. You wanna get as much of this water out. You leave a little bit of water behind, the customer's unhappy. And it might not dry fully right away. Here's another pro trick. We're gonna take our blade and we're gonna cut a 45. So I'm gonna take this corner, pull it back, cut it at 45. Now watch, my finger's gonna go whoop, just like that. On these bigger panels, I don't like to have them pop up in any way. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go like here. Bam. Always pull the film away from itself. Bam, just like that. You come right here. Just like that, no light gap. All right, when you do that, you expose the film to a little bit of risk. And what that risk is contamination getting into your film. So what I'm gonna do, take my white card, and right where I stopped, I'm gonna push up. I'm not gonna use my squeegee, because if I use my squeegee, I'm gonna flush that water back into the seal. And then what's gonna happen is I'm gonna build up more contamination, or build up contamination in general. Another trick is always start from where you cut the film. So I'm gonna push it right here, and then I'm gonna push up. Just like that. Be careful pulling it when you've already cut the film, because it'll crease on you or it'll pull back. So I always like to push into the seal itself, just like that, instead of pulling it the opposite direction, because it might not be fully adhered, so the film will pull back. Because this film's exposed, let's do the bottom real quick. I pulled this back. I'm gonna cut it at 45, just like that. Now, I'm gonna push my film down. Bam. All right, so they got some music going on in the background. Okay, since I laid this down and it's been just a little bit of time, it's been probably like 5 minutes. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this film back before I cut it. I'm gonna give it some water just so it doesn't dry up on me. I'm gonna cut the same 45. I'm gonna come out about a 1/4 inch, just like there. Cut it at 45. Cut it at 45, boom. And I'm gonna pull the film away. Now, I'm gonna drag my finger, go straight to that corner. Now, the reason why you do that is so that your corners are not rounded and you don't see any light gaps. I like using a white card, especially on these because they're larger. They have a tendency to kind of pull up, especially at the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my white card. And I'm actually gonna set it perfectly at a 90 degree. Just like so. Again, set it at 90 degree on the seal. And the reason why is because you want that water to escape. And if you get too tight, you'll create little tunnels and it'll create a vacuum where it actually sucks dirt from inside of the seal back into your film. Got that bottom done. Let's get this corner done. Now with the sides, I like to go at a 45 because then you get a little deeper into the seal. And then once you bump the edges, you won't have any issues. And then at the very bottom, I like to actually come up with my film or come up with my cut. God, what is wrong with me today? Just like that. If that happens, by the way, didn't fully cut, just go back over it, just like that. So a lot of my areas did not fully cut. Dull blade. Just like that, boom. Pull this off. Now, blades, what do you do with them? Check it out. Put them in this little guy. New blade. Take 2 paper towels, fold them in half. Grab your white card. Now see this water? I'm gonna have you guys get nice and close. See that water? Watch this. Look on that side. Do you see any debris? No mas. No mas. All right, so that's it. And that debris I'm talking about, by the way, look, that's just pushing into the seal. When I tilt my card and I start rubbing it down, what's gonna happen is it's pulling up that dirt. That's the dirt that's gonna get back into your film if you try to squeegee it all the way to the edge. It's a little longer of a process, but honestly, you'll get really good at it. Just takes a little bit of time. These are what we call fingers. So again, that's because water's traveling back into your film. Hit it with a towel. Don't try to squeegee those down, because if you try to squeegee them down, you're gonna build up debris back into your film. That's how you install a commercial panel. Peace. Oh, man. Well, I hope people like that. Maybe. Hey, check this out, dude. You gotta see these drop off. Freaking love these things. Bam. 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 Oh. Bam. I made that look awful. I'm tired, bro. Red Bull. Red Bull. And these little Yetis, bro, banging. So check this out. This freaking scaffolding makes our life so easy. Highly recommend it. Look at this. Well, by the way, there's that Milwaukee. This thing is banging. Literally stuff a battery in there, keep everything charged. Lightweight. you get a flat tire. It works for that too. But here's what's cool. Just drive everything in there. We're ready to go.